about it right after this. So, do you? We're just gonna start it out like this. Do you remember hearing the rumors about Austin Riley? I know I do. The early stages, the Gwinnett stages. Do you remember the rumbling of excitement among Braves fans that lived around Gwinnett, that go to the games a lot, and have seen him a lot? Stories of homer after homer, article after article were written about him. Babe Ruth like numbers in the minor leagues, and it happened to be at a time where the third baseman at the time, starting third baseman Josh Donaldson, hadn't really gotten into his stride yet. And as successful as the bringer of rain was in 2019, without a doubt, there was a lot of excitement about the future of this 22-year-old kid, Austin Riley, in Gwinnett. So, even after the season was over and the Braves were considering their options, they chose, again, compared to Donaldson, a kid who barely had any time out of the minors, a month and a half really. They chose him over a former MVP. That's how much they like this kid. That's how much potential they think he has. And you can tell me that the Braves didn't want to dish out the cash on Josh Donaldson. If he was that valuable to them at that time, if he was that needed, they would have done it. I do believe that. I'm not buying this idea that Alex Anthopoulos refuses to spend money. I don't think that is a fair representation of his method. But money is a factor, and Austin Riley is 23 years old now with a whole career ahead of him. He has improved drastically in his ability to hit the slider and swing at the right pitches. Adapting to the major leagues isn't easy. Ask Dansby Swanson, who struggled in his first few years. The pressure builds when you're a highly touted prospect. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately. And when I hear conversations about bringing in Chris Bryant or Nolan Arenado, I listen to them. But those arguments have never quite made sense to me. I think we made the right choice in sticking with Dansby at shortstop. He may not be the best one in the league, but he fits with the team. He clutches up at the right moments, and I think he'll only get better in the next few years. Honing your craft is something that takes time, especially at the plate, but the raw power that Austin Riley possesses gives him a huge advantage in the future. Not to mention, he's one of your own. He's a free agent until 2026. My advice is to stick with him. I think the Braves are all in on him, and I think the fans, it's time to get all in on him. You can talk about a trade to the Cubs. You can talk about a trade to the Rockies. I don't see it. I don't like it. I don't see it. If the Braves did it, I would not like it, and I wouldn't like it for a long time, even if Riley didn't turn out to be what we thought he was going to. Because I'm not trading 5 more years of inexpensive growing development of a talented third baseman already and a solid hitter for 2 to 3 years of an expensive player. Yes, it will give me a good performance, but he will be gone by the time Riley hits his stride. So that's what we would be trading away. And for what? 1 year winning the World Series? Maybe. Keep in mind, we were 1 game away from beating the Dodgers in the NLCS and going to the World Series and likely winning it. So the Braves are there, and these prospects, these young guys like Austin Riley, only benefit that. So that's what I think about that. I hope you agree. If you don't, I understand, but that's where I'm at with the idea of going to get Chris Bryant, going to get Nolan Arenado, Matt Chapman, whoever you want to throw at me. I'm an Austin Riley fan. I am, and I believe in him, and I think the Braves believe in him. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section as well. I will get to it. I do have a super chat from William Fulgham. Oh, it's about Riley. What about putting Austin Riley in left and signing a third baseman or trading for one? And no, not Bryant. I have heard this conversation, William, and it's not a bad question, but I don't agree. The plays that Austin Riley made in the postseason last year, and I talked about this before, but specifically against the Reds, go watch that game. Forget the diving play at home where he tagged the runner out. Forget that. The amount of hard hit balls that he picked up and just threw to first that other third basemen would not have been able to handle was amazing. He is a fundamental third baseman. He is not a left fielder. I think that he is the guy at third base. I think he has been raised to be a third baseman. I think that is where he is going to see his best years, is at third base. I get the idea of bringing in a third baseman, but with the outfield market right now, I just listed you 10 potential options that the Braves have. I don't think they have the the amount of options that they would have at third base. And not to say that they're not out there, they certainly are, but they're expensive. And I think there are a lot of other opportunities in outfield than third base. And I don't want to take away from what this kid can do to put him in left field. We saw what he could do in left field. He was certainly not bad out there, but I would rather him, frankly, hone that craft at third base, get good to go for future years. And I think it says a lot that the Braves trust him at third base. They trusted him at first base when Freddie was out for that short while